I'm definitely gonna miss the theme music.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to miss the theme music. Like, we did a lot of things well. We did a lot of things not so well over the last just about 4 years. We nailed the theme music, and that never got old. If you notice, I'm talking in past tense. Michael, go ahead and make the formal announcement.
This is our last show. This is the last show in this space, Brother from Another. Today is our final show. And this is the first time that I've actually said that. That I've actually said that aloud and just kind of sat with it and said, well, you know, I don't want to talk about that right now, or, well, we'll see. No, this is it. This is our final show right here in this neighborhood. And I'm saying it that way because, you know, I don't know, neither does anyone else. I don't know what the future is. I don't know what, 2 weeks from now is what we have going. I don't know what is going 6 months from now, but I'll say in this space, in this neighborhood, on this day, it sounds like Nelson Mandela and Malcolm X. I am Malcolm X. I am Malcolm X. I am Malcolm X. But on this day, this is it. This is it. And I got to tell you, there's so many things I could say. There's so many thoughts I've had over the past few weeks.
Share.
This is, well, I'll say this, Mike. I was put on this earth, and this is a great feeling to have. And I hope this helps somebody. I hope somebody is at this space. I know for a fact I was put on this earth to be a writer, storyteller, journalist. It is what I do. It is why God created me. I am here to do that. And so I've had some incredible experiences, and what I appreciate about like being in my calling since even before I was a professional. I was in my calling when I was 10 or 11 years old. I had thoughts that normal 10 or 11-year-olds didn't have about communication and about storytelling. So I've always been on it. I've always known that's what I was going to do. There was never a doubt. I was never thinking, oh, I'll be a firefighter.
Were you reading 3,000 books a year? Were you reading 3,000 books a year?
Sorry, Cat. Sorry, Cat Williams.
Were you admitted into college at 6 years old?
I didn't say no. Okay. I didn't say I was a prodigy. I didn't say I was a prodigy. I'm not. I was not. Am not a prodigy. I just always knew I was where I was supposed to be at all times.
Could you run a 4.2? Could you run a 4.240 right now?
4.1. A 4.140. A 4.140.
4.1.
Yeah. But no, it's like I've always loved about this job and about this assignment, just being a broadcaster, writer, storyteller, is that it always teaches you and always keeps you sharp and hungry. And so I've had some incredible experiences, whether it was working for my hometown newspaper, the Akron Beacon Journal, right out of school, getting a job that I never expected to get at the Boston Globe when I was 24, meeting you when you were an intern at the Boston Globe. I was 29, and since I'm 9 years older than you, you must have been 20, okay? Because it's a 9-year age difference.
Yes.
So Boston Globe, getting a...
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey. Pardon me, preacher. For our last show, I will acknowledge once and for all that you are in fact 9 years old.
Okay, thank you.
Just to put that to bed.
Thank you.
There we go. You're welcome.
And
yes.
And in my hometown paper. And how about this? Not only working at my hometown paper, but being a part of a great team. I've always liked teams. I was never gifted enough athletically to be a part of a sports team, like at a high level, but I was a part of a great championship team, Pulitzer Prize winning team at my hometown paper in Akron. And then the Globe, great years at the Globe. Great years doing things with ESPN and FS1, the predecessor to FS1, all kinds of things, radio, writing books, but nothing has been like this because this is the most personal experience I've ever had in media. It's just personal. This was not a job. This was not like, this was a family meeting every day for 4 years. So an opportunity to talk to you, to do a show with you, which we've talked about for many years, to get the opportunity to do that and put our fingerprints on it and to communicate over 4 years is incredible. So I think that I could say a lot of things, but the words I keep coming back to are thank you, thank you, thank you, Michael Smith. Thank you to the audience. Thank you for the platform, everybody behind the scenes. I'm just very grateful today. I'm not. It didn't even make me sad. It made me glad to keep the theme going. But
in fact, it only made me glad.
No, I'm just very grateful to be in this space.
Yeah. The attitude of gratitude is the theme of this show for sure. We have definitely come a long way from the basement of ESPN and producers asking us how are we different
on an iPad,
and what was a makeshift audition,
not a camera,
an iPad many years ago. We have come a long way from me filling in occasionally on your program on WEEI Sports Radio Boston, 8:50 a.m. in Boston. We have come a long way from you making a drive to Bristol to jump on His and Hers and kick it back in the day on that platform.
And even before His and Hers,
this was something we always talked about.
Numbers never lie. Numbers never lie.
Numbers never lie.
And His and Hers. I appeared on both programs.
This was something that we talked about, always wanting to do, and we did it. And I'm with you, man. Like, I'm good with saying goodbye. Hell, I almost pulled the Irish goodbye, be honest with y'all. Michael had to pull me into saying goodbye. I almost just dipped, but that would have been unfair to a lot of people.
Now why?
Most
why
of
all. Why were you going to do that?
Because I like whoever invented Irish goodbyes is a genius. I mean, presumably it's an Irish person, but like it's just cleaner. You know what I mean? Like, it's just. But I mean, I'm okay with tapping into this. I've cried a lot lately for a lot of reasons. You're not gonna make me cry today, but there would be tears of joy. To your point, first of all, let's set the record straight on something. Let's be clear. All right, let's be clear to our audience, who we will acknowledge momentarily in a much deeper, more thorough way. Michael and I do not hate each other. This is not Michael sick of me or I'm sick of Michael. This was not our decision. We don't know much about who made the decision or why. This decision was made for us. The powers that be decided that this show ran its course and served its purpose. And so, as Michael said, we are done in this space. We'll see what the future holds. But Michael and I were brothers before this. We're going to always be brothers from another. Not brother from another mother. Like 4 years, y'all should have got the title of the show right.
Don't add mother. Don't add mother to it.
Yeah,
it's implied.
And by the way, which is one of the single greatest achievements of my career, which is not saying much, but getting a group of white people to sign off on a show called Brother from Another. I will forever not be. I will always be proud of that. I will always be proud that they said, you know what? Okay.
I remember it. It was like it was the funniest thing. It was the funniest thing. And I don't know if you remember it this way.
It was you know what it was? Michael, you know what it was? Real quick, you know what it was? It was the most 2020 post-George Floyd thing ever, was to allow us to call this show Brother from Another. That's right. In any other year, any other circumstance, probably would have got shot down. Probably would have said no.
They would be like, hell no. Hell no. But it was the funniest thing, because I remember you started. It was the summer of 2020 when the show started. And I just want to keep reminding people how the show began. I think it's important to remember that. Just so the story needs to be told definitively and correctly. I believe in that. Telling stories storily, not with a slant to the left, a slant to the right down the middle. This is what happened. Peacock was going to unveil its programming. To my understanding, there were no brothers or sisters in the programming. And then George Floyd happened. Okay, George Floyd happened, and then I was asked, hey, would you be interested in doing something? Would you be interested in doing a show on Peacock? And would you be interested in doing it by yourself? Or if you would want to do it with someone else? And at that point, when I heard or if, I knew exactly who that person was going to be. That person had to be Michael Smith. And so that's how the show started in the summer of 2020, with a lot of protest and a lot of reckoning, or some people called it a reckoning. Those of us who have been around the block for a little bit knew that wasn't quite the right word. That's what the word of the day was. That was the spirit of the times, but that wasn't really correct, because you see what's happening after 2020. I remember telling somebody, I think at the Boston Globe, I said, you know what would be a good spotlight article for you all to do is to follow up on those who made big promises in 2020. We're going to do this, and this is unacceptable, and we have to we have a different way of doing business. Follow up, and this was last year. Follow up 3 years later and see where people stand. See if the promises have been delivered. Anyway, that was the backdrop. So we're in this meeting because COVID, and we're on Microsoft Teams. Michael Smith is in one box, I'm in another box. Smith says to a group of people who don't look like us, nobody, hey, I got a name for the show. And everybody said, oh, well, wait a minute. What is it? And he says, Brother from Another. And I don't know if my camera froze. You know, that happened a lot in COVID. You know, your Wi-Fi, you have an unstable connection. Because it got real quiet. Like mouths were agape. And then somebody said, I like it. I like it. And then we went from there. No pushback.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning. That was the beginning. So, it was named. That baby was named and raised to the heavens. And that's how we got started.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fulfilling conversations. There are some moments and some takes that I'd like to have back. I'm not going to speak for you. You were flawless, but there were some moments and some takes that I'd like to have back. There were definitely some things that we could have done better. Did this show reach its potential? Was it as good as it could or should have been? I would say no. But I would go back to the corporate part of this, because like, nobody ever told us what success for this show looked like, and that's okay, because Michael and I defined that for ourselves. And I would unquestionably characterize the last 4 years as a success. I'm proud of what we accomplished, despite the circumstances oftentimes. I'm very proud of what we accomplished, despite a lot of challenges put before us that other people didn't have to deal with. But when I look back on the last 4 years, I felt like we had the conversations that we should have had, more often than not, the way we should have had them, and deliberately with the people with whom they should be had. I feel like we created a community, and we expanded this family. I'm really proud of just the content that we put forth. Again, it wasn't always perfect, but like a long time ago, when it came to me as an individual, but me as a storyteller, as a broadcaster, I decided not to concern myself with the people who didn't with me. I decided, like, somebody told me a long time ago, like, the people who like you, make them love you. And I stopped worrying about the people who didn't care for me. Because that's okay, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. This show wasn't everybody's cup of tea. But you know what? Going back to the attitude of gratitude. And Michael, I know you got some thank yous as well, so let's kind of like divide and conquer here.
Go ahead.
We want to thank those of you who invested your time in us. There is nothing more flattering. There is no greater honor. There is nothing nothing better that somebody can do for you than to give you their time. Time is our most finite and precious resource. And there are so many options that people have just in the arena of sports content. content in general, but sports content or talk show type content that they could decide to spend their time with. We want to give a heartfelt thank you to everybody who has ever watched a YouTube clip, who has ever watched a social post, who has ever downloaded a podcast, our subscribers to YouTube, our subscribers to the podcast, our followers on social media, anybody who's ever left a comment, good or bad. Because whether you're telling us how awful we are, whether you're telling us how vehemently you disagree with me, more often than not me, I was the one with the wild shit most of the time.
That's not true.
Whether you're telling us how much, whether you're telling us how much you loved us or hated us, how bad we were, how great we were, whatever it was, anybody who took the time to craft a comment.
Amen.
You could have been doing a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Thank you for making this show, whatever it was, for whoever it was. Michael, we talked about this early on. We had a goal. We want to take our text and our phone conversations to the airwaves, and we wanted this not to be, something for the masses. We wanted this to be that spot, that restaurant, that club, that coffee shop, that mom and pop shop, whatever it was, that if you know, you know.
Right.
And what's understood need not be explained. And those that know what this show is about and what this show did, you already know. And that's the only people I care about. So thank you.
Yeah, and I want to add one more group, and you covered a lot of them. But you told me this privately, and I've told you this privately and publicly. The amount of people, and it always surprises, right? The amount of people who would come up to us at random places independently and say, "Hey, I watched the show." Now, when I'm in New England, I expect if somebody's coming up and say, "I watched the show," I think they're talking about something I do on NBC Sports Boston. But they were like, "Hey, you do that show with Michael Smith?" I'm like, "Oh, you watch it?" It's like, "Yeah, all the time."
I've had that happen a lot. Yes.
It has happened. Now, we show up in airports. Thank you for the airport. My airport community. How about this? You mentioned YouTube and social media. Shout out to the airports. Shout out to the airports.
That tripped me out.
I love y'all.
Detroit. DTW? Oh my God.
Minneapolis.
Big old screens, man.
I see you, LaGuardia.
Oh, man.
I see you, SFO, LAX. Thank you. Appreciate you. But airports, people on Martha's Vineyard, I tell you all the time, people from New York, Philly, D.C. We did a study a while ago. I think it was probably year 2 for us. We had like a summit, and we tried to figure out where our people are from. And we had a lot of people from the East Coast, a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of people a lot of Pennsylvanians, a lot of folks from New Jersey, D.C. So thank you to all those folks who took the time, not only took time to comment, but took the time to come up and say, "Hello, how you doing? Love what you're doing." And that means a lot. It means a lot because it was always intended, as you said, it was always intended to be authentic, unfiltered, just impromptu in a lot of ways. There's not a single day have we worked with a teleprompter. Not a single day have we, for better or worse, not a single day have we had a rundown where we're going to go here, there, we're going to go here, there, we're going to take a break here. It is just it's your view of the world, my view of the world, and it's not just sports. I mean, we've been introduced, you have your beautiful family there behind you. My family, my wife, Oni, has been incredible during this time. So you've been introduced to Sarah and Oni. You've been introduced to Robinson and Beckham and Ava and Savannah and Mason and Maya and Stokely. Stokely's made an appearance on the show too. My pugs have made an appearance on the show. So we've talked about things that are real to us. We've talked about our faith. And there's some things we haven't talked about. I don't know if you want to talk about some things. I'll just say this. I'll tell you, I'm going to be real with you. I'm always real with you. When we had our watch party, I was moved to say to our fans, pray for Michael Smith and pray for his family. because if he's not here at this watch party, you know that there's something must be happening, and it's not for me to say what it is, but I want everybody to know that you have been through something, and you don't even understand how, you have told you this before, you don't understand how you have strengthened my faith by listening to you. And you had a sermon the other day, you don't even know. You had a sermon a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you remember this conversation, Mike. You said, I have not panicked because every time I start to panic, God shows up to let me know it's God. And it can't be anybody else. So that moved me. And I don't know, you do what you feel like, you say what you want to say. And if you don't want to say anything, that's all right too. But I just want people to know that.
I appreciate. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Now's not the time to tell the whole story. I will tell that story. You know, I will give this testimony in greater detail, but I would say I would go back to you, and I would also say, like, you know, this whole year. This whole year, I mean, I've been gone a lot, you know, and it's for good reason. And, you know, I would start with you, man, for holding it down and keeping it real in my absence and keeping this thing going. And let's go back to the beginning. Thank you for thinking of me, you know, and bringing me out of retirement. You know, I was literally minding my own business, but bringing me out of retirement, you know, pulling me back into this thing.
Tell people what you described yourself as at that time. I don't know if do you remember what you called how you called yourself?
What did I say?
In retirement?
No, what did I say?
You called yourself Fat Thor.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right. I was chilling, and Hulk and Rocket came in and got me back in. No, but thank you, man. Thanks for the conversations. Thanks for challenging me. Thanks for making me better. Thanks for, you know, laughing at my corny jokes. Thanks for getting my references. Thanks for, you know, just carrying me a lot of times. And, you know, this is a perfect time, last but not least, to thank the staff. I hesitate to go into names because I'm going to forget some names, past and present, and I'm going to do that Academy Award thing where I say blame my head and not my heart.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, like, again, Michael and I lead this with no bitterness whatsoever. So, like, thank you to NBC Sports and Peacock for the platform and for the freedom. They stayed out of our way and let us cook. You know, Sam Flood came into my living room with a mask on and sat 10 feet away asking me to do this show. Matt Casey's been there from the beginning.
Did you wash your hands, Sam?
Yeah. Matt Casey's been there from the beginning, and for the record, he did like Brother from Another, the title. You know, Gary Carter's been there since day one. You know, we've had a lot of people come and go that have made us better in so many ways that I can't begin to thank everybody. You know, Natalie's here with us at the end. You know, she came aboard and took us to another level.
Yep.
You know, there's just so many people. I'm gonna stop there because I could be all day, but you know who you are. But there's so many people who were with us at one point, who came and went, who helped to make this show whatever it was, who lended their time and their talents, and were committed to this vision. And then I'll end my thank yous with this. Thank you to everybody who came to this show and believed enough in this show to lend their name, their reputation, their perspective, their expertise, their voices to this show.
Yes.
The people who we called and showed up and said, yeah, I'm there. What time you need me there? You know, I'm talking about the Vincent Goodwills of the world. You know what I mean? The Charles Robinsons of the world. The list goes on and on. The people who held us down and was like, yeah, whatever you need, and made this show better. You know, again, that's a long list as well. You know who you are. Thank you for coming through, you know, Ashley Nicole Moss and Tarika. Like, you know, again, I hate going, because I don't have a list in front of me. I didn't write all this down. I'm going to miss some people. It's just too many to name.
Mike Hill, Mike Jones,
Jason
Liv
Johnson
Moves,
with the
Jason Johnson.
Jason Johnson had the most awful takes in the history of sports, and he kept coming back for more, and we kept bringing him back for more.
I hope that we're gonna have some highlights. I hope that's in the highlights where you say, hey, look, I never thought Martin Lawrence was funny, never did. You're like, damn, Jason. Jason. You know, like, there's so many awful takes on hoops, awful takes on a lot of stuff, but we love them. But, you know, you're right.
Oh, my gosh. But
staff members.
So many people made us better.
Brandon Newman.
Members, yeah, go for it.
Matt Ortiz, Jacob. I mean, Kaylee Chimento went off to do NBC News. She's working with our brother Lester Holt right now. I mean, there's so many people. Wyatt Nance, like so many folks who have worked behind the scenes, who have been flexible. You already mentioned Matt. I want to mention Matt and Alexa, his wife. I mean, having great parties every year. Brother Sims, Chris Sims showed up in the early days. Rodney Harrison. I mean, so many people who have been a part of this community, and it became a community. That's the crazy thing, that the name made sense in the very beginning for us, but and I said it's implied. Well, the community is implied too. That brother from another, but we'd have, at one point, it was First Fridays. And it was women doing the show, holding it down on Fridays. You say, hey, how could it be brother from another with women holding it down on Fridays? Mike, as you said,
it was Wednesday and Friday. Yeah.
You're right. It was Women's Wednesdays and it was First Fridays. If you know, you know. So just a lot of folks. And I'll tell you that there's so many things to be proud of. One of them just happened. You mentioned the people who said, hey, can I come? You need me? I'm there. One of the early ones was Mark Spears. So Mark Spears was just on. He was just on Monday. I texted Mark Spears over the weekend. He had this great story, not great circumstantially, but great because he shed some light on a negative situation. The general manager of the Washington Wizards was racially profiled, run down on outside of Saks Fifth Avenue by a plainclothes security person who never identified themselves, came up, jumped on him. Miami police officer comes up to the Washington Wizards general manager and says, don't resist, don't resist. They accused him of doing something that he didn't do. I told Spears, I want you to come on and talk about this story. He came on and he talked about the story, and he told me afterwards, he said, thank you for highlighting this, because nobody wanted to talk about it. He said nobody wanted to talk about it. And so we gave him the platform. And it wasn't even like, oh, we'll give you the platform that nobody else does. We weren't thinking about anybody else. It was just what we thought was the right thing to do. And that was really, that informed us the entire time. My feed was informed by, hey, I'm passionate about this. Your feed was informed by, hey, I'm passionate about this. And we went from there. And it was really a blessing to do it from our houses for 4 years.
Yeah. I will, I'll last thing, and I think there's probably, if I had $1 for every time I said last thing, or either one of us said last thing on this show, before we went into like 10 other things before finally wrapping up.
Last thing, but both, and you should know, y'all should know by now, both grandsons of preachers. So, Baptist preachers.
Yeah.
Last thing before I go to my seat. You know what that means. That's another 30 minutes.
Before I take my seat, before I close.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, from a colleague and a staff standpoint, a long time ago I made it an objective of mine. I just want anybody who's worked with me, and in this context I'll say us because I know you share this feeling, anybody who's worked with me to have been better for it. So anybody who's been here that's left us and going on to bigger and better. Anybody who's still here and now moving on, I hope they're better for having been a part of this program, and I hope that anybody who, like I said, has taken the time to watch this is better for having spent time listening to us in our conversations. And with that, Michael, unless you got anything else, you can get the last word. For once, I'm known to sneak the last word in there. You get the last word, and then we'll leave everybody with one last in case you missed it. Go ahead, Michael. Take us home.
Yeah, well, thank you to everybody, as Mike said. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes, people who have never appeared on camera, people who have operated cameras, people who have come to our homes, especially in those early COVID days, to do some troubleshooting. That has happened in your house multiple times, Mike. It has happened in mine multiple times. Thank you to, of course, my homegirl from Boston, who I worked with at NBC Sports Boston, was with us in the early days. We had two producers. It was Gary Carter and Courtney Gustafson. Courtney, thank you very much for joining us in that maiden voyage. I remember she said to me, I heard about this show. She said, hey, are you looking for producers? Yes, I am. And I've said this before, so this is not creepy. If you do TV, it's not creepy. If you've never done TV, it might be a little creepy to you, but you understand what I'm saying. Nobody has been better in my ear than Courtney Gustafson. She is fantastic. She doesn't talk too much, she doesn't talk too little. It's just right. One of the hardest working people I've ever been around. But thank you to everybody who made this go, who made this take off, lift off, and float for as long as it did. So, Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to do this with you and to be at this point right now.
All right, and with that, enjoy, look back at greatest 4-year run in Peacock history.
What's up, family? Enjoy yourself. I see you moving to that beat, that original beat. Mike Smith,
we nailed it with the
on
music and the name.
Happy birthday, Daddy. We love you so much.
Come on. Come on, man. Oh.
I knew we were going to get you.
He asked who was nerdier. Brandon, what did the people say?
Chuck Dern said, M. Holly looks like a college professor. He is a college professor. M. Smith looks like he's a guy who plays 3 simultaneous games of online chess while sitting at Starbucks. So, both?
Oh, man.
I wish. Most of us right now, I'm watching this chaos at the Capitol. You want to talk about pictures of white privilege? If this were a Black Lives Matter protest, National Guard would already be out.
They'd be dead.
This would already be rolling.
They'd be dead.
Exactly. This would be over already. Okay.
They would be dead. Anybody who was silent is complicit in this. If you voted for him a second time, it's on you as well.
We've established this. We've established
is what
absolutely.
you have asked for.
I'm not going to argue on behalf of Will Smith and say that he did not overreact. What I am saying is that every man knows that when you start talking about somebody's wife, somebody's loved ones, but in particular somebody's wife, and her appearance, that could happen.
I don't know, Mike. I can't. I just can't. I can't put myself in that position. I can't even see it that way.
I've never thought that Martin Lawrence was very funny. I don't even really like the show Martin. Never did. Still don't.
Damn it, Jason.
I never thought Jamie Foxx was that great of a stand-up comedian.
Oh my God.
I'm just, y'all know me. I'm just being honest.
Dude.
Just being honest.
Dude.
So I'm saying that to say that
Don't be so honest. Don't be so honest. I know you have a larger point, but golly.
Say goodbye to Chase Young. Chase Young is going to the Niners. Chase Young going to the Niners. What the hell is this?
First of all, this is the most blackest thing I've ever seen right now.
It's over. It's over. That's all I can say. It's over.
At long last, Chris, we give you.
Ready. There it is.
Yeah! Woo! The Oreo cookie. What up, baby? What up? And listen, I like the cookie part better than the cream. So just to let you know, I like the cookie part better than the cream.
Look up, Charles.
That's
Charles,
it.
look up at the screen. Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Now zoom in real close. If you can zoom in somehow.
We ain't got all that. Damn, dog.
Okay,
I'm just saying. I'm talking about zoom in.
We're gonna do this shit. We doing this on the
trying to keep the lights on. We got an iPhone here. Trying to keep the lights on, but it's brother from another. What you think this is, man? It's a black show, man. We ain't got the kind of resources. Stephen Curry kind enough to join us from Whistling Straits right now. Listen, Stephen, good to see you, brother.
Coach Tara Vanderveer, you put it in the atmosphere. You created this. You did it.
Thank you for inviting me back.
Don Staley, pride of North Philly, pride of the University of Virginia, joins us.
Candace Parker, future Basketball Hall of Famer. We have been wanting to catch up with Elaine Thompson-Herah ever since the Prefontaine Classic, and as the rest of the world knows all too well, it is impossible to run down and catch up Jamaica's Elaine Thompson-Herah. I believe that Notre Dame has gotten themselves a star in the making in new head coach Marcus Freeman. I've been waiting for a long time to talk to my brother Wendell Pierce, home team, New Orleans own. He's a son of the city.
He's one of the most versatile actors out there. His name is Russell Hornsby, and I got to tell you, Mike, the last time we saw him back in the day, we were on Martha's Vineyard walking down Circuit Ave.
We welcome in the creator, the writer, and the director of the Best Man franchise, Mr. Malcolm D. Lee, a day after his 53rd birthday. Belated happy birthday, brother. So good to see you. Let's welcome in Adrian Holmes, who plays Uncle Phil, Jordan L. Jones, who plays Jazz. They are incredible. The show is incredible. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Yeah! That's what I'm, look at that! Hey, hey, there he is, the one and only. Hey, Michael Smith. Michael Smith had to get up. The one and only Tariq Trotter, also known as Black Thought.
With all due respect, to his process and to what a monumental career decision this is.
Right.
Does it really take a darkness retreat? Yo, we live on the air.
Hey, man, we on TV, man. Like, this dude like rolling up. Who's this?
That was the best moment in the show history. That was the best moment in show history. But that's going to show what family we are. He's like, I don't care.
He just rolled up. You're looking good, man.
You see McCourty leaving, it's just those groups are leaving. Hey,
where's your former quarterback?
Hey, that's my guy. 4th and 1, man. Hey. And so
Cam Newton.
That guy.
Cam Newton walking by.
We have seen prominent figures, Allison Felix, Serena Williams. Like, what is it going to take for these huge figures that are supposed to represent not only the best of our country? What is it going to take before our government stands up and says the healthiest among us are still dealing with these issues?
Natalie, our sister from another mister, is now officially part of the Brother from Another family.
We'll say this about the Golden State Warriors. When they have to really go head-to-head with somebody, they tend to not do that well, i.e. LeBron and the block.
I know a lot of people have some issues with the light skins running the league, but that is what it is, okay? That is what it is.
Wow. Where are we going to this colorism here? I would not go there. This is some intra-black violence going on.
These skills that Kevin Durant has that y'all all love and glorify. I'm just saying, like, the guys who allegedly don't have those skills, they've done more for their franchises, and that's just like a fact. And all we ever do is get excuses bailing him out. We get shoe sizes. We get shoe sizes when there was a whole overtime.
Yes, no, it's a show.
There was a whole ass overtime. There was a whole overtime, and all I hear about is the goddamn shoe size. Like, come on.
Can we just stop and like appreciate for a moment the anthem that is Whoop That Trick? Because I don't know if there's any set of circumstances. Is there any set of circumstances that could be going on that if you hear Whoop That Trick, you're not going I mean, that's chunky Anthony Anderson right there. You know, that's Terrence. That's OG Terrence. Oh, I mean, right.
Boyz II Men, that's a group you can talk about. Those are my guys. Boyz II Men over Jodeci.
Overrated.
No.
Wow.
Boyz II Men over Jodeci.
Yes.
Did you say Boyz II Men over Jodeci?
I did say it.
Your thoughts on Boyz II Men?
You know what Boyz II Men is? It's John Stockton. They're the John Stockton of singing. That's what it is. They gonna get you a consistent 16 and 12, but they ain't winning your shit. Wait, when the last time you listened to Julia Harmony just because you felt like listening to
it? Bears are not gonna trade Justin Fields. You got another think coming, not another thing coming. I hate, that's a pet peeve. It is another think coming, because why would I say if you think and then substitute that with thing?
I don't think we talked about
this. It's another
I've
think
never heard
coming.
anybody say that.
I'm at work, so we can't bring a red cup in here. Like, I see you got a red cup.
Oh, I'm sipping on something. I'm sipping on something.
Yeah. I didn't know it was a basement party.
Oh yeah, no, I got. Listen, I don't even be. I figured, like, you know what? If we're gonna do it, let's do it right. So this is some vodka orange juice. Not my typical drink of choice.
Look at you, a man of the people. Whoa, and here's another man of the people.
What up?
I was up here dancing. I was doing the warm-up show and stuff like that. Hey, you know.
Welcome, Michael Holley, to your own watch party. I let the people know you are running on CP time per usual.
Oh, see. See why you had to take it there.
In honor of Mike Smith, if you attended this watch party last year, I have my red cup.
Oh, the red cup.
Okay, so if you was here last year, if you know, you know.
So the Bengals, that's who's winning it all. Joe Burrow
versus over
the Eagles.
Oh, Bengals over Eagles. Okay.
Yes.
Hey, Gary. If I made an obscene gesture on camera right now, could y'all bleep it out or no? Probably not a good idea to do that. What do you think? Like, I make obscene.
I should take my earpiece out.
You gotta. You have to. People. I'm gonna get an FCC fine, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
I can't hear you.
Don't come over here. Don't come over here.
I can't hear you right now. I suddenly can't hear you.
Are you serious or are you joking?
I cannot hear you.
F you, Michael. And
okay, yeah, I heard that. Okay,
This was a great segment. Let's go to break. We did a fantastic segment on a Wednesday on Peacock.
Stand on the table.
On YouTube.
Stand on the table.
On Sirius XM Radio. On Sirius XM Radio.
Stand on the table.
Yes. I might break it if I do. I might break it. Sirius XM Radio. YouTube.
Don't go too far.
Peacock. This was the best segment on a Wednesday in the history of whatever this is.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.